Well, it finally happened. The Wall Street Journal, one of the flagship publications of the American right, the billionaire class, the corporate elite, the Wall Street Journal published an op-ed openly floating impeachment as a way to stop Donald Trump from destroying the American economy. Not after he leaves office, right now, in the middle of Trump's second term. It is not written by some never Trumper. It's not written by a left-wing bomb thrower. It's written by Holman W. Jenkins Jr., a conservative columnist who's been defending Republican policy for decades. And that is what makes this such a huge deal. I encourage you to read the entire piece, and we will link to it. But in essence, what this piece argues is that Trump's tariff war is a disaster, pushing the United States and China towards a total trade freeze, which would be extraordinarily disastrous for our economy. Investors are losing faith in the United States as a stable and sane place to put their money. And courts may soon have to weigh in on whether Donald Trump's trade war is even legal or constitutional. And here's the big one. Jenkins says impeachment may be the least bad option remaining. A future Trump impeachment seems all but guaranteed. It may even be desirable to restore America's standing with creditors and trade partners. Now, that's the key. With creditors and trade partners, billionaires and gigamillionaires are getting fed up with the chaos. We heard from not Mike Portnoy, Dave Portnoy. If he's going to keep losing 3% a day in the stock market, which admittedly has not been happening every day since he said that, if he's going to keep losing 3% a day in the stock market, he's not going to go for any more Republicans. So this is not because Trump's a wannabe authoritarian. It's not because of creeping dictatorship. It's not because of the mass deportation schemes. Trump is threatening the U.S.'s place at the center of global finance. That's what scares them shitless. The billionaires and the billionaire class don't like it. Their wealth isn't just about dollars and stocks. It's about the U.S. being the world's reserve currency, the safe haven for capital, the place every investor trusts in a crisis. That's what gives them their power. That's what lets them dictate terms to the rest of the world. And Trump is setting that on fire. They're realizing it now that the guy they propped up because he gave them tax cuts and he said he hated regulations, he's too unstable to protect the very system they rely on. Their greed blinded them. Now, if you believe Bill Maher, who recently had a powwow dinner with Donald Trump at the White House, Bill Maher says Trump's not actually deranged. He plays a deranged guy on TV. And Bill Maher said it like that's praise of Trump, like that's a good thing. It's less bad to only pretend to be crazy. Now, you can come down on either side of that. On a recent bonus show, Pat and I talked about, is it worse to be totally unhinged or to play an unhinged character because you've calculated that that's how you benefit? You can decide that. But the point here is we are looking at Trump's actions, not the things that Trump said. And the instability is causing a problem for the billionaire class because they wanted a puppet. They wanted someone they could control. And instead they got an out of control wrecking ball that's potentially going to destroy everything it bumps into. And they're panicking. So when you see a Wall Street Journal op-ed like this one, gently suggesting impeachment may kind of be the only thing, it might be the least bad thing. It's not just political. This is economic self-preservation. It's the billionaire class realizing they may lose more than just money here. They may lose the very system that gave them what they have today. Now, of course, the irony is they did it to themselves. They said, I don't like Biden, and eventually it became, I don't like Harris. I'm going to bet with their vote and with their money, I'm going to bet on a narcissist with the attention span of a mosquito and the economic knowledge of a goldfish. And now they're begging for a lifeline, maybe even impeachment to go and clean up this mess. Now, what should the left's role, what should the Democratic Party's response be to this? Depends the direction that we want it to go. Accelerationists will say, get the hell out of the way, let them destroy it completely, and then we can rebuild it from the ground up. Now, those of you who have read my book know I am not an accelerationist. The risks of burning it all down is you might assume it will be rebuilt one way and it won't. You might assume you get to rebuild it, but you won't. Even worse people might end up rebuilding it. That's not my approach. I know some in my audience like that. I personally don't. My approach would be very quickly, and I mean like for November of 26, okay? Very quickly figure out a way to turn this around, to justify electing the people that you can say will do a better job. We definitely are going to have to take a wait and see attitude as far as that is concerned. But when the Wall Street Journal is talking about impeachment, you know things are falling off the walls. You know, every time we call out Donald Trump's authoritarianism, the right calls it media hysteria. But I want to remind you that Trump admits he's looking for ways to defy the Constitution and maybe even pursue another term. Now, if you don't know the bias behind your news, you might believe, oh, Trump's just teasing us. There's nothing here. Go to ground.news/Pacman and see how media bias influences more than your perception from Trump's policy and ability to understand and undermine constitutional norms. I've been with Ground News for years now because this is what they do. They expose the hidden agendas behind reporting sources and make it easy to compare coverage and understand critical issues. Even better, if I'm reading a story on another site, the Ground News browser extension will flag the source's political bias and give me other reports on the same story so I can verify the information. My viewers get 40% off the same unlimited Vantage plan that I use, so you get their top tier plan for just $5 a month. Go to ground.news/Pacman. The link is in the description, or scan the QR code.